The home is the first school of a child, and so we want the home to do their duty before these children are sent to school. Sometimes the home wants the school to do all of the work for them, which is not possible because there are some aspect of your child's life that we as instructors, we as teachers might not understand well or might not be able to implement to the fullest. So you as a parent, we understand better the personality of this child, learning opportunity that you can bring up for a child. And so in teaching sex education, we want the home to be involved. Whether you are a parent, whether you are a guardian, whether you are an auntie, whether you are an uncle, we want the home to help us out because we see some children that are broken from home. That's because the home did not do their duty. So the holistic nature of sex education requires that parents should get involved in teaching sex education. We do our best and we put out information for parents to consume. Sometimes parents might not understand the holistic nature of sex education or may not know some age-appropriate information to give out, while some know. For those who do not know, we have materials that can help you as a parent or as a caregiver or as a guardian to help your child at every age. These are materials that are age-appropriate for each stage of a child's life, either at the toddler stage, at the preteen stage, or at the teenage stage. These materials is tailored for parents or caregivers to consume and see how they are going to apply them in the child's everyday life. So if you are a parent and you want to consume this information, or you want a guide on how to help your children navigate these stages of life when it comes to sex education, we got you covered. But why do we want parents to be involved? Because the children are with you at all times. So you can use scenarios, instances to be able to teach them. We want parents to, number one, start early. Start very early, because if you start this kind of discussion at a very early age, it won't feel awkward as the years goes by. It becomes a normal conversation for the child, and the child will not feel awkward when such conversation comes. Remember that sex education is a long-term discussion, and it can happen at every time, or at some instances you need to put it up. So it's not just a one-time discussion that I'll finish this topic and that's all, you put it down. No, it's a continuous process. So you continue to look for scenarios, occasions that you are going to put such information out there to the child's hearing. You need to be approachable as a parent. Some of us are so judgmental. Some of us are so cross-minded that when a child comes up with a question, we just believe that the child is spoiled. We just believe that, oh, why should this child ask this kind of question? And you start judging the child because the child asks this kind of question. Sometimes we start scolding them without answering their question and without being friendly, appreciating the fact that it took courage for them to come ask you such question. Let's not be judgmental. Let's try as much as possible to be approachable and have open communication between the children so that you don't have communication gap and communication breach. Because once that happens, you send that child out. The child is going to learn sex education from other places. I will tell you some areas that children learn sex education in the wrong places. That will come up in some other of our videos. Now, as a parent, use everyday moments, everyday conversation. You're watching a television, you're on movie night, you're reading a post on social media, there is a scenario or there is an occurrence that happens in your environment, there is a trending topic out there, and you see that it is an opportunity to teach a child about sex education. Key it into the conversation, play out a scenario, take this instance and try to create awareness to the child about what sex education is as it pertains to that. For example, a toddler see a pregnant woman. You can discuss how life begins with the child. Or the child asks you, how do people deliver? And you go to a place where somebody have just put to birth. It's an excellent opportunity to teach the child. We as instructors might not have such opportunity to talk to the child in such manner. We're only going to create a scenario, but you are going to see real life situation that you can teach the child. So parents, please be involved and try as much as possible to be a good listener. Some of us are quick to talking, that we listen less. We listen less. A child is talking and you are shutting the child up. So how will the child communicate her feeling or his feelings to you? Or something happened in school, you not allow the child to finish, you start condemning the child where the child does wrong. Try as much as possible to listen and see where you can do your correction. Be swift about hearing. Be slow about speaking. It will help you as a parent. The home will help us to teach boundaries and consent. If in your home there are rules, I'll talk about family rules sometimes here. Common rules that will help our toddlers, our teenagers, and our preteens to abide by regulation. Family rules, I'll talk about some of them that can help you to implement things that can help them to make life decisions. And so you can put boundaries. Don't do this, don't do this. Put coffee, come home before this time. Don't go out at so time. I don't want this kind of friends. It will put the child on his tippy toes to know that this is what is acceptable in my home. It helps them to create boundaries. It helps them to know what to consent to. And it helps them to understand family values. You know that sometimes the values we have in our family can help our children to make informed decisions and be better children. So please don't be a guardian at default, neither a parent at default. Let there be structure in your home. Let there be boundaries. Let there be value setting. And then make sure that you get accurate information. Read accurate information and know how you pass accurate information. These children will get the misinformed information from the outside world. Some of our parents still have this baggage of this misconception. Sometimes you see people, young ones growing, they tell them, don't get near a boy. For a girl, if you get close to a boy, you will get pregnant. Is that the truth? So try to give the child accurate information about what sex education is so that the child will not be misinformed and become afraid of things that they are not supposed to be afraid. Instead of making the right decision, they do things out of fear and exploration. They want to explore what I told. This thing I was told, is it true? Let me experiment. Explain in details. That's what we want you to do as parents. So try as much as possible to give out the accurate information to your children. Then share values, not fear, like I've said. Don't share fears. Give them the updated information. Sex education gets updated every time. What we learned yesterday is not what is applicable. We have some misconception. If you've not watched my video on misconception about sex education, watch it. We have some misconception that you and I were taught. You and I were told. Our children should not learn that because that's not the truth. And then prepare for tough questions. Children can be so inquisitive. They can ask you questions that can put you on the spot. You ask yourself, how did they come to know this? Don't worry, they got to know it because they are in jet age. This generation is not the generation you come from. So think, if you don't have answer to those questions, tell them you make research and get back to them, or do research together and give them feedback. Okay? Sex education is an ongoing discussion. It's not going to stop in one day discussion. It's progressive. So continue to be progressive in teaching them such education. So parents, be part of your child's sex education life and try as much as possible to help us instructors to be a good teacher at home. Get information so you can pass the right information. So get educated, know age-appropriate information that you can send this information and it will be able, you will be able to give out the best. So to our children, we want you to learn from home, learn from teachers, and learn from instructor. All right? So please, it's a progressive discussion. Keep on the progression.